Sala, Mr. Williams, Sir Sen, Lu Albalbaskid. Happy Wednesday. Mortial weekly press conference Sergidia. Boktusu Sergid. Mora ay badul ma raklay marubul belaw. Mora bilong ma ebi raklay mar sila belaw. Dire kal mora olbida kalula Presidenta Senate, marukul senator, sa mura speaker House of Delegates, sa marukul delegates. Dire ka mga judiciary, Chief Justice Ngiraibelas, marukul judges. Dire kal malungil tutaw al mora rokul adravelul mo sabi iloreng sertiang ma o meserngi rai krela ma al sela velul belaw. Dire ka malungil tutaw mora ministers ng artiar el tutaw ma mora members sa media. Kung malmisar te algo masabi edal may kaldibali o ay sra belur bela mong rangan ngira government targi daro ko. Actual maomu olalwase president ergid milangad adu el altutara United Nations General Assembly. El altutaw mang katial lalo ay sang kalwas sang ara YouTube mang mo subira bekla daro ko mo access ngir meng sa alta ala presidenta ra UNGA. Aktira kalmal so kal ngumtel te alle o ay selwase Vice Presidenta dia kay liak kat klisi el sabi el mangidarar af presidenta o pasagi de klisi ding ngil of island among mal delegator sagi del klisi el meranga mamlo sabi kal swear in rangal karaskura pala high school el al mle eli marungo kalmo sabi kal mo mistrira out of office let for the first time at the related election, the student body association officers or what tele like a general election. Mamlani ate a little campaign, put in their names, a campaign, emloria thank you. 76% tra student body pala high school amlet turn out for the election. They voted among semal klolo uro madamal ngudol rong silwa simni 76%. Madikutel talibel time announce ang clear tirgegi dem long may kaldro alle so adal wadakora amatra arangal gelbela tira kura malay gagi diel eldro alra al sela schoolir al mo omte ay gel interest rangal kara school saba akrangal kara school apal high school. Minggen no president ra SBA ang ania Jada Osig, Vice President Kubari UL. Dire kal nga niya Kali Adolf, Kali Sumeos Adolf, ma Grisham Adragaroy. Our seniors, class of seniors, President Tertira Ethan Samil Mayar, Vice President R. Jane Idu Skabong, Treasurer Tira Rina Jane Andres, Secretary Kisha Katabangang. Our juniors, President Wilbur Omara Wilburn, Dyke Singeru, ang Vice President, Jomil Garcia, Treasurer, Secretary Quinlan Yao. Sophomores, Kurt Burton, President, Vice President Ilani Harrison, Treasurer Dilboy Suzuki, Secretary Tiltiul Maui, freshman class, President Tira Santos, Roger Ngodri Santos Jr., ma Tyra Thing, ma Haruo Way, the treasurer, secretary Macleo Ngiramanyor. Tira kakmalmlel kaltmo kolom de tira parents tir, almlo orre kada bibilia tira ngwa imori lawyer bibilia and took the oath of office. Congratulations on Mortir Gagidiel, PSL officers ra pala High School Student Body Association. Tira kan malso ka logi te o ay sura semlaringi Celsius sa semlaringi ra Sunday afternoon. Lora sel family home ra Mr. Ramas Kalsong mang lo sabi ela fire department lo respond although amlo de kal sabi saver cell two-story building sel top floor amlo sabi saver cell first floor. Hindi maldire kan lo ungilaw ready at the fire department may gero ko yelblay maliwek karsegi yelblal miltamal adimla kal makasakla no sabi ilse by gel neighboring homes and maldikme that yelblal miltamal even masyak siya kura summer house ng arbitar tegi di alblay al milses remained intact. Malawra nga sila la Palau Red Cross Society mula sabi il respond mamlo sabi il ngoiti triral mora tara provide them with accommodations and food and other supplies. Tira ka malogyo tiya mga sulilar members ra public nga ringyarm la may step forward they offer ra apartment, 2-bedroom apartment almo house ra sige the family ringgel ngalgela armas ang klela reda ma family ringi for 1 month rent free at yung apartment including utilities free mo accommodated till while they're repairing their home. Malura nga suliar bekla other rokoy that came together almo help protegi dal family ra aramas kalsong mangalgel ra reda. Aktira kal mal meron ko al low isel wase ang kuramot talgi bal chen sa astele la a press conference lete ya kuralas tanga kalang may president ra next Wednesday makmal di mom sa te ala minister at matuon lamang mga plans rigi dahil schedule for Independence Day celebration mom sa te ala minister Obichang ang mo minister state o we open up for questions. May taramay ka.
Mga malungit ito Vice President, mga ministers, mga adra media, mga adra bela rokoy. Mal mayroong kung ma-report tayo kung laro la minister gidrela. Kumamu uling last week ngirmang imlarnya tergel tayimel adadal mura Dubai. So I'll report mo about an hour ago successfully tumle land ra Dubai. Din so mo smoothie omrolil and tliwel mle o widel. Interesting lang namo de kadil borders of the cross amringel. Tergam na require mora Guam le shavala dakal allow or other overnight. Tumlora Guam overnight gilil mo tumlara imora PCR test. Leng wal lab sa self PCR test ni lurbelaw. Matitilo dra Guam re elira 3 o'clock lendra shaval ra 8 o'clock. Etigida dire gal taram lo mringel gi modol lo mangela georgin asulela sojits tel kombalir gi dra lo lo mangela airport. Patial ma embassy gi dra shaval nganya Peter Adalbay. Ling require a escort move from one terminal to the next. Namuda kal mga ramols emul di mimok mateng raskogi Israel. Mong agimnorio require the coordination umlo subir elite temle move at terminal 1 escorted al terminal 2 yang arsegi de kalongit tiga miras ko girtil tiro da 3 o'clock rasus melal tutak mosenda sa sing til legol tamalen da Dubai mal safe mong namu already ra Dubai o ngirun so ko report tel maral mel independence tergid mong president tamle sign ra directive amle assign ra a co-chair el minister of state el Mr. Aitaro mga el mo ngara ra Independence Day celebration mong because ang lam kasang kora kasaw duded en auldas ra kamitia apo member da consolidate tagidale aigal celebration el dimo erur club asay kadangal tangat lengariya women's conference lo mura next week all the way mo Thursday maaldadura sa daw nga sula bilung ngani amhal mlawil ladu lo mangela asil belaw hedan nga bilung ma president mong segi the night ra Thursday esia agora mo orok yolel malubang end der sel asil belaw typically every year ngani agora dinner malubang celebration artir mumlo tibel po segi the celebration artir the combine ngi misel state dinner mong mo sabela trigel kuk other belaw mar guest tergid international may el mo join our masil belaw mo di bol one a celebration sel kapsangay lo mo ragid le tanga mo rabay ra mayong el ngara 8 to 9 PM mong sekal mo senda gel ko makail detail sa gid el dinel mera committee el mera committee mera media mo mes sel Thursday sel actual celebration amo Friday typically every year kadablo mo ba Siguro spread out igal boat race mabira celebration ang Sabado nga Sunday. Amle ulda sa pumedo lasamal korase baudo mudito da kal motal sils. Ma October 1st happens to fall on a Friday. Mung sigil Friday mo niya program rigid lo mo ora 8 to 9 sigil sa nga aldadu. Nga program dire kal boksen tan ngile ora media mo mesengi mo niya the bus ma sols el 1 hour program ya umura 3 o'clock mo 12 nga negel ko entertainment tamangloy mo nga igel 16 state booth nga koror side apa show actually kada na decide pung muradit kada utilize rai ma orior ya igel main stage amer orior lo mangel igel 16 booths ya irai morning sel PVA night market sa PVA ngora sel irai mo niya otrul both rai ma koror side. Yeah, after ngloy gra 12, ilang umura nga 12:30 to 1, nga niya igel boat race rigi dal mulmul mo nga ra ay maklok. Audio ra ay maklok, kato ko ra sesili lemingi ra fireworks mo ri sel ko basingel mo ra bebola barge, el adi morsel ko ra dalong le lay mali kamay. Sige na ko ra program rigi ra Independence Day. El nga niya ko ra ko magal question and sa igal mo answer uri. Sulang advice.
Tamal na sulang ko. Malmasala Minister Tmetuchel melang ako mom sa ate ala Minister Obichang.
Sulang Vice President ang will tutawle ko kauma. Arbeklat Vice President kadamal di hotel te ale mo umarenga sulem kauma NEC members ra NEC ma anemo away men ma ara nemol ligidel tial sele emergency exercise airport donot mo kringira last week lengul mo la tabletop ra Tuesday a Wednesday amne full scale exercise sa tingedel no conduct ringira klase adur stay ikadamal stirira time tirigel ne evaluators ma assessors ra again le sodal test al areas tal exercise ya Friday am no risel do modo ni luas yang hatwas dia kalau melol bel makal deral mesado kadamong e markong e tirigel ne evaluators o ay silwasi ngara koram nongol sang sed ngaram ne elite atud tangara ko liaung il lurior makata merenga sulir from there margwa ye dia mo partra improvement al moral emergency planner gidra ada kadil airport avec agency kardire mal merenga sulir tigel dong kodor tilwa set force responders ra celebrating a national emergency ya babiere Vice President mo tuobda el momre nga sulir arbekal adama tigel ne participate dire gal madengel was ngel Lieutenant Colonel Choir Anderson Air Force Base nge sil firefighter department Anderson ang iungel no sab el may maimol adal el may absorbe firefighter sigit ikadamre nga sulel no sab el may dire kan naringa input ringi raudiu ra exercise le sera typhoon utumal matamal sel training center sa ibale el agida sendra bigedra arfal mora Anderson al momalar sel training mo adaman no ngal tangat no sab adil me joiner gide ko miskita input tiring kadira gal mal mrenga sulel sel timra ko ama na jen taman ne joiner tabletop emne joiner gidra sel full scale exercise sama hatwas akyat timmer gidra adiregal tara listra for suspenders malne participate trage rogul silsel egeleden yawal silsel dururut yang akmal diregal momreng asulira sel timra United Airline dirigay arungla timertir ma employees ertir ma training ertir cater sindal skogil merbelaw mang kaltmokla timertir el ukmong moringa way sigidal disaster airport ang eta kaltmokl mo o respond mang etamnail full team mga mo mereka sulir tira kama mereka sulir la direktor Madraisau ma aurir tamne help para exercise rigi dara ayel no sebel suel pergi ma ilumaral mel product spera full scale exercise ma ayel venue dulngat mokla a tabletop ma igaji dale hatwas ringi tamal masawli tigay ma Red Cross ablo all me nal partner ay gal exercise man di ngari nga agal never tokal participate and di kimol top dara babier mo merenga sulirar beklada mo kada mal dil mutal merenga saula mal me successful al exercise hope wasing ay gel dingila era hatwas abo dos pe el ku improve ay gel areas el gida at ang ngari nga ngal sangset mal obe kada mitutri di ay gide paisang sulang
Mamsala Minister Obichang kung update ringi ito pura Minister State lang Minister Aitaro.
Sulabais ministers mar ada media. Adibok update na gidre lang tutawa ko mesetel banner ngarulle. Tianga banner gidre sel what they call masing SUPA Scaling Up Pacific Adaptation. Tianga project ngirmangan nara gagidle EU with a partner agency, a regional agency, SPC. Gira global climate change adaptation Ngiraibelas at all time. Itiang local partner agencies at the project, Ministry of State, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education. Aktiran mo ngitra tribal time viceling. At all time aklay with other EU ma SPC o meser lang. Akmalong ngitra di tribal time mo uimiyo yatel gira statement el Uduch email less than mensabil ko promeng sa torang award. Palau receives climate change grants to address impacts of climate change for food security, safe water and health. The biggest challenge is to inform the general public about activities, and one goal of SUPA is to educate and inform the public of these activities. The Palau government shares the same concerns with general public on the need to disseminate accurate and real-time information on all subjects affecting lives and the quality of lives in the Republic. The Ministry of State will manage Channel 25, the public broadcasting channel, effective this September 2021. The grantors of SUPA and SPC are presently watching us, the live coverage of this press conference. Lakmo smodi mas a Minister of State lang amla ngila grant tertiagid program $100,000. Lamara state-of-the-art equipment tertir, mosabil direct help broadcast promote legal activities at SUPA. Tora climate change, health, education in their involvement, adaptation to climate change activities or Belau, share positive information amongst each other. Bakbal direct mereka sulir tungtat mereka sulir ng kagid le CEO ra PNCC ra Leo Benteriong, adara Myers itong. Tamal masaw Lorela Mantri tingal adara media division of media mo sa amal turn over till Channel 25. At all time mga niya agreement till kimal bangari dia of course ang tingal mo Minister State makmadaktan ngiriksan maktimasen mo obis sa AG for review. So standard makmal di mga sulat da PNCC tara maklod partner kamam mga sulat la Minister of Education Minister of Health mo partner pati agid mal very important project ta SUPA kamal masaul.
Okay, Madam Misala Minister Aitaro seguido ko mo bees el teletargid el al total mlamombre ka al tato yield over el altendori le gora media mang o yaklol te el logera abtol ger
Wil tuta ang erol mo teling Narmud masakaw mo last time ko ngartiam.
Oo.
Di ko ay sir kalo sa ako ngartiam. Ek mo ko mesringin. Pula tawang belam sele. E program nga gid roba ka brurngil. Tiala trouble babol. Nga kamalol do rangi. Di ko nita minister. O sen da mem expand ringin mo include rasina si awal ma Korea. Michael Balloon nga maori gidel. Aswel nga dia direct flight sel 4 to 5 hours ang mergit. So mas release mo. So kung sabi mo, mungerang Ngayon nga kukti, kukira ka Minister of State, wasi, kurang malungil tiyal program mo sa akin. Tiyak lelungil, ngulm sa private sector mo lungrarang. Kumis tiyal mong sa Channel 25, tiyak lila ka, kailan mering kami, private sector mo kami at media las ba kampanya, hindi lang yung tiyak yung program ito. Kumis rin yung malungil program, kumalmasaw. Ito din may.
Bago Minister Tmetuchel. Oo, Minister State.
Mansulang irmang malungil agadim malgidala travel bubble. Kita border kita actually open to everybody. Ya aldu lomangala Minister Obichang agim na open na asim mora roguil blue also bal merbelaw. Hindi because of travel restrictions agil blue ako radir ko re kada kay gidal aldu. For example akmadir pungana babengela Minister Obichang mora Korea. Ngari aldo lomangala Asiana Matiway Airline lomangala Sojits. Ngari nya Zoom al sing 4:30 ra 4:45 actually. Al sales lomangala Singapore. Ma Minister Obichang manggel kuk Minister ay gidale transportation ra Singapore mo Zoom lomangge el mo dura air services agreement sa lomangala Singapore. Ngari nya ongoing al dadu adi mo issue gidre lang ay gelguk medical travel restrictions regel bulu mo sel gol sa dangira shabal again am tigin mo with la travel lang ay gel bulu guk na impose restrictions ertir mar adril merbela for example asina adril merbela wa lut return mar Hong Kong malu mo rangi dil part rasina are required till 14 days each bulu lenderengi. For example, ngar Hong Kong in 14 days, ako kung ngar Hong Kong mas train mo sa buludin another 14 days. Your restriction matay maudod. Di aldadu ongoing. Hopefully, lak alwid ako rin na hit almost 40% vaccination rate ertit. At the end of the day, if agal bulu ok mong hit 80% sa dadong herd immunity, ang lamo biyo tergi the Sherilynn entertainer Adel Merbelaw. So lang, I hope ang answer ang question.
Madraisau Mr. Ngiraibelas. Sel issue Channel 25 malungil direct part of tele project ma media division amo start to collaborate lubang gamiyar pa private media. Malungil example sigidra 2 Fridays ago lang sel emergency press release lut tabdi magim lo litar wa Salvador Talam sumadia hook up to the link musibil to the information. Tell the division of media under this project amo start to lower level other private media involved regal activities mo supa sera lorut project to lusigra other entity government mo level community groups and organizations lendigal legal equipment ngania ta sele AM tower de global me mal luriora albangari adra media division ding aba tira morelo tira adra private media ling como start to promote collaboration ma cooperation between government ma community the sutama tangarel belaut te public broadcasting information rogul to information to the government telling it the patients ma klaing sa community as we work on get that collaboration government ma community sulang.
Si Aldea, Mr. Tmetuchel, add on to...
Tilmutul do all sel Independence Day program ergid. Kami tiwara ulumda sa kumumeda tral sa ibaw do, malaka the print ababier. So for the first time mo paperless, mo digital, mo rin QR code malink mo rin mangidil ada sa scanner ateng wartir, omes ra program magiro kul tulong tingila sa igidil sales. Sulang.
Ngil tutawe Vice President di tuguri di mireza. First kari kamera Minister Education Dr. Jenkins. Good morning. I was able to get a copy of your 2 paragraphs email putting an end to the elementary school exams prepared by the Ministry of Education. So about last week or 2 weeks ago, I wrote an article on that. I know that's going to be the practice from now on, but if you may, could you please explain what is the reason behind that and what is the next plan with regards to testing the students, what they have learned?
Sulang, that's a very good question. The rationale behind changing from quarterly assessments to regular teacher-made assessments is based on what is the use of the assessment. Assessment must have proper use. You can use it to assess the children's development. You can use it to assess the teacher's methodology. You can use it to assess your program. Different ways of measuring. As I looked at the past and in interviewing with many teachers as well as the specialists, it was found that the quarterly assessment was not really being used to help students. It was being used as a summative evaluation tool. In other words, that's the end of the quarter, we're done with it, this is how you did, instead of using it as a formative assessment to go back and find out what they need to work on some more. So, and part of that was because of the design. The design of the test was made by people who were not in the classroom. And it was according to what the curriculum would have been, but it unfortunately couldn't take into effect things that happen, like COVID and things along that line, that interrupt the normal train of educational process. So after seeing that, I said, well, we're giving up at least 12 days of instructional time a year for those assessments, not including the panic reviews that go ahead of that. The assessments were worth 25% of each student's final grade. So a student who's in the first grade has an A. If they don't do well on that exam, they don't have a good grade. It puts a very heavy weight on one assessment instrument. So what I thought would be better was to use those 12 days of instruction for instruction rather than for assessment. We do a lot of assessment here. We don't need an additional assessment on. It's particularly one that's not being shared with students, teachers, or parents. As a result of that, because of its heavy weight on that assessment device, we had to reevaluate the grading plan for how the grades are actually calculated. And so what we did is we went back and made it a little bit less heavily dependent on examinations and opened up a few other possible categories. For example, class participation, written papers and projects, which before were not given much weight or credit at all. So now we have, I think, a broader perspective of things for teachers to pick and choose from for how they want to calculate the grades at the end. And even more importantly, approach different learning styles with different types of assignments so that the students who may or may not be great test takers will have an opportunity to produce things such as papers or participate in class to help themselves learning. That's the whole goal. And so, and to sum it up, assessment is to help student learning. I thought we could use a better way of helping the students learn by using that time for teaching rather than for an assessment instrument which was of some use but not all that much use.
Thank you. Quite clear. Next, Ngiraibelas Minister Fisheries, Mr. Victor. Hindi mre understand dalwasang nga rin igel pelaw ang nga igel kukla langara igal fishing days ring through its membership ra PNA. Understand dalwasang nga rin isel partnership ra balur pelaw is a member of PNA misel Pacific kumpalil based ra Netherlands. Ma-question na nga kasi, is that only for marketing reasons? Aluwa nga rin ako ngaliwalad in terms of dollars through that partnership lawang kilsay kita. Private tol kumpali. Thank you.
Man masawla geri all grill bakkan consulator kartelom rolem moraskura tayong man soadal mesal kok mo advanced education ra malungel sergel girela pacifical se manaringi marketing purpose ringil mora percent fishery abela amal gere percent fishery ringil ang gere the gere skip chak to nari mergid mong dia kakmal ngali wale dungur sei le purpose sia mo certified percent fishery ra agagid el gok region ergid sel Marine Stewardship Council mun sab el ngwa higher value hop answer sel garime sulang
in the one last lekor ka wele mora director share ak kurap to kar adra blue lasang aring akura fluel maral kura to ring sa information ra MHHS yang balkulwasang pram lata pala cases sa kita in the last 2 weeks mal sa elam kurati explain and more sa kita ma loreng sa bulbul katakatira
so lang olgari le ngil tutaw morar bekal ada loreng sertial press conference eli September 21 yagi ultibdi public service announcement del morablu ang moral waise agi omes ang goram lam optoka cases ratretre flu like illness el miro hospital mag ultibdi public service announcement del morablu waya kidi mamaklat krar other igel preventive measures which we always remind that are reiterate el wasa kada di mogoregi klamang ngorak lo atretre mang dagda panik tretre mang kada di mogoregi kle apply igel preventive measures makita chosra please go see your doctor. Importance sa hand washing, sanitizing. Yes, maral nga rin increase ra tretre magi ultibdi sa the public service announcement. But it's the flu-like illness that's going around.
One more. Nakingirak mong latun di haleklia times 2x4.
Sure.
Agi loso ngaringat alam al mga adurar tirakal mlara omaral me patuka kura kansendra at mal sa eledim sodim bol plakatak with regards to testing ra COVID el selamen di tirel marurangi to waisel waset tamrosak YouTube sa tirar other hospital ya instruction na utungira ising MAFE and swab rabitang marabitang masing kurang ngaringal affect ringi antia ka sing guarantee ra wasing mosabela dialgi del raktal dictate ringi I mean the
integrity testing. Yes.
Oh yes.
So I get day 5 test ringi my get arrival test ringi that those pa antigen ringi. So yes, we began that process several weeks ago. Ngal adal me test ngaringa team set up a team lawrel lawangela ad it's an antigen test mang it's swab di motungi like you said ngora Q-tips di motungi swabbing sel siguma testa nasopharyngeal and then ang require a provider ngi momrula ngi le nasopharyngeal amot mul moremel mang selame ade aki the our medical team or mystery raigal klakadal instructor til wasing magarang collector swab kami so a nasal swab amral waise as you said ka ngora katalngela Q-tips mulmo ngarinya teletele la omolaring so we've been doing that aigel testel mer hospital memla day 5 maigel arrival testel gi Marura airport so it's standard practice those people antigen it is a self swab test hindi of course ang maurana I'll test magi other swab and then we collect it and then we do the run also gumangaring ako question was saying maybe they didn't swab it right or adim lakalungil ang mga ital collection then it would reflect on the test was and valid. But so far we haven't run into that problem. So a test result, 12, it's either a positive or a negative.
So quite simply, that's the standard practice.
So for antigen testing, yes. Dil siguma ada require a PCR test. Talang nga igil Guk palul sel oboringin dakala accept the antigen tamala PCR test. Then in that case sing nasopharyngeal mangirel medical provider amrul ringi.
So lang plakatak.
Jalastera Olgaril nga press conference so mama tilingi ask questions. Malungil to tawe malbal bato ka korawil information na to matya karikati di across the board. My first question, just to follow up on Olgar's question, Minister Jenkins. So you mentioned that this quarterly tests, are not, they're just used to, I guess, more for the administrative side of the MOE to assess performance of the instructions or whatever. What other tests, does MOE conduct other tests as well that test the level of performance for the students and do what you were saying, assess where they need to go back to, if they need to improve anything else? Are there other such assessments?
The hope is that every test given to a child is used for formative assessment, that they will, after taking the test, we find out what their areas of strength, what their areas of need are, go back and take care of that. We give a lot of tests. Already this year we've given 2 standardized tests. There are 2 more coming down the line. The primary test which we rely on for evaluation of the school as well as the students is the Iowa. And that's a standardized test given throughout the nation, which enables us to compare our progress to students throughout the nation as well as to our local schools. So that's what assessments are coming. But the quarterly tests were just to be brutally frank, they were just not the best use of instructional time at that time. When asked when they were developed and how they were developed, we got mixed replies. So it was clear that they were not being used to help students learn more. And that, unless you look in the long range, that it would help the school develop that. But the only measures I ever saw from those were just our average results, which don't give you that much information.
Thank you so much. Just I go pwede bebiragera. I think most the question nga kamura Minister Udui. Understand ang atel SL budget mo increase ra actually hindi ka nga SL budget kalwida pension namla out of the announcement mo increase ra contribution ra employees by 7 up to 7% from 6 to 7. Asik assume na hindi kang mas ra employer as well. Employer hindi kang mas 7%. Mang tela actual sel 1% tel increase ang actual ng telal cost tela ko ra kabalment tela tati mo ra kabalment sing telal amount sel 1%.
I don't have that number. I'll calculate for you. Basically, the budgets are payroll. Payroll is about 50 million for the Republic, so 7% of that.
Used to counting that high. 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess akari kawasing the direkal wal kora tokol ada mal tagal retirees tagal retirees tagal hudo na kabalmenta mal concern sel 1% increase ling mal bato kortira direkal mal maringat tidelal given cost of living. Before kabalmenta le subsidize ra pension ra bekara about 3 million, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So hindi akarole since it cost ra kabalmenta para kerma me ase hindi akarole la kabalmenta el provider se la kapol deduct say gidel 1% is additional 1% talubeng require say gidel basically we talk about 3.5 million to 7 million increase. ngani ako ra alda tul kinel siya lubeng it's namumre ka makatati moso isa paringi tigiluk nga nakabalmenta.
So the subsidies that the government has been providing are just allowing the government to extend the program another year. The estimate for the end of the program based on the current payouts and the amount that's being collected now is 2024. So we are working on a long-term solution, and that is partly why we did not propose a budget for pension plan in this FY22 submission. But we are planning on proposing a solution to address the issue of the longevity of the pension plan. And we anticipate that it will involve some additional subsidies, most likely this year, starting this year. But we would like to figure out what the solution would be and how much would it take for us to put the plan on a stable footing. And that would probably involve annual contributions to the plan, but we would like to make sure the plan doesn't continue to fail as we're contributing to it.
So lang Minister, ati follow-up questions well in the pension plan ng Kukmara WIOA. Kadang-kadang la sesel last WIOA giren lumbre karela al September alak alwit sometime early second week of September. Akerel nga rablul me waseng kurang niya information na marara social media, which is not necessarily most reliable source of information na luwasay tel programa malmol mala abalur Amerike langani ako rat ellel mutol mo malmol marabalur belaw ya ongeru ursel follow up set dire kalwasay bato karar adal ne file report tatire ken nombre karak nombre kalpuy la adire ka ngay kel payment mang question na say tamalamol malmala payment almol mutra until seludo tamla nato last malding arse la karing keng adra WIOL arse sentela luto tamade el arsel grant niya ngilur tel last la kalwi desel American Rescue Plan am lenga 19 million tel guk fal aparingile Biden's what do you call this sing lutel amount taringin madel mang sing adi say kita to the abru sing adi yang is I guess that's a question, how much is that tell us luto to madel.
Do we have somebody here I don't have any updates for you on the program, but what you described is what we understand. There is no further funding available for the program to continue, and that this was the final month for claims to be made, and that payments could continue to be made against those claims until early next year. That's our understanding.
Additional information also provide the Minister Tmetuchel.
Omdas ra tutaw, a director mo omdas omna ra Zoom ra 2 to 4 AM. Nundim la kasi apni askar tilmen nim la kasi ilme mong akpay mo ngi tertir meter kumira later time kung silo gera ko makael question mortir.
Madak send the question ko lang ko. Kami mention wala say kadmo paperless mga atas ilding hotel program ra QR code. Tigel ko tiakalodang mga QR code tamo find out information again.
Agi mo sis akrar ad mga PVA amo malasim kora olsis akrar ad los pe QR code mateletelel. Ako akmalo marak mur maasar kita na mamdul nga Facebook. Tirgel maasar abo oda na mo share up to nga mangarang. Makumda sa tego gidel olsis akrar tira the migrate mura digital ga sa bakloludo. The print tagel babe kadam sa nga 10 to 15,000 mang settle save out do that the share.
Sula Minister Tmetuchel seguida vesel blulad miloreng setial press conference modera nga babier nga aleatel. Tianga question mora acting director acting minister a hospital director olgotam hal song sar toktang hospital. Sel obomo mesera imol toktang en ngerul sigang mobudul edel sigang en sebem sa toktang. O adaktor lala di o mesera sel Monday Wednesday eguk assign el mura surgical ward ma a medical ward. Mengaringi akme del 2 to 3 hours in sevril mesangel toktang. Edere lo sisul time en dia toktang ra iuis. Ngaringi ako raul de swem es el director of public health acting minister lo sikro lele mosebel lo el motel giblu ngila lo lela guru lo singa toktang ra dia lo hospital aquí.
Sherilynn Sadoira for bringing up. It's not the first time that concern have come up, but akaya maral mortirero ko el patient el mer hospital have to wait that long, but di ko ay salwasing talgibal overstretched. Lang as you know, maral umrus ma testing maral mang ay gal flight del met mura UA ay gim tester tira Sunday mang artoktang rotate lo one tira team. At the same time ang ay gal umrusel maral going on na require toktang lang a site to make sure wasya ada selam rusel so in the event ng adverse reaction ya toktang respond on site. So we shuffle people around among mal understand wasing get frustration na adal may momangilalang gi-rotate ra adal mga ringa timing mo ringa angal sang sila toktang lang ara sila hospital and they're deployed to other areas. Sel tora orthopedic because of the pandemic ang ay gulway algora recruitment efforts sa kamamara milara to search say milara orthopedic outside the akoramlo dakal sa PL. So what we have been working orel labangel ay gal wayarwa shingong ra Taiwan maigel alguk kay gal canvas team trial organize sa el adogram na open na border regidel sa PL ay gel specialist may provide ay kuk site visitor bela at the same time el provide services. So orthopedic is always on top of the list and it's one of the lacking area hospital, but for now we're looking at bringing in specialists orthopedic patient while we continue efforts to recruit a more permanent toktang ordol Ngiraibelas.
Sila director kukuramel got motel ngel sinsira toktang adakal pesel tokoy. Latal mga dadura president ra belur belal girel tel el monday ngra al dadu el girel.
I think discussion with the president I assume was saying Dr. Makul president tamla dadu el girel. Unfortunately, hindi I'll provide any additional information to that. Dr. Makul lang kaya or mura ara toktang ra kamam, but I'm sure it's something that's been discussed with the president. Anding ay kay give you specialist schedule in Ngiraibelas ay kay help. So for now ay way ay rely ra ay give while at the same time ang itrigel for internal toktang ay they're undergoing a further training and more time at the mo deployed out Mombrulay regular toktang.
Sila directora nlaringia toksura pala wave radio nlaringia imora patient cancer. Uluay sek mlaseng malsmer emergo uspera kadal ngaria medication lola Ngiraibelas civil helper ngai emlamo 6 months legal available hospital in the prescriber ngia tramadol ma amortin hindi ke olgon dat civil helper ngi dise gidal garat ya maknogera imora patient cancer patient mlaseng comme la experience regagi dengan sangsela ikan medication ara cancer en mil nga do ra pharmacist en ngal sangsela do ulmen dat civil Ngiraibelas Singmural wa isay malubendia.
Agiri al amo mga ura pharmacist because I'm not aware of that issue. Hindi ako diludo ulman di ako sisipakar. There are other factors that are involved, but yes, ang moral directly potentially but I need to look into that. Probably respond to you at another time. Hindi ako that particular situation I'm not aware of.
So, Director, di ko mo atensyon ako maltatara time. Tiamora minister Tmetuchel, malulungil tuta minister, agul mesa lister tiganan resident workers, imla attempt el hairar adal, logi wagel telefon artir, el provider list, aware klase tirgal Udui amkul, illegal musfera, hindi ko mesa list nga create ra, Udui. Es el gumesenim la empower tirgal. El worker seramo del blue. Metemlamo demanda ang arbablo todo. Yar other belau loriora ablu. Di $3.50 audodir. Adiak seguida klisi il demanda ang arbablo todo. Hindi tirgay el potential without employers. Amla mo demanda ang arbablo todo. Tirgago manitor tirma lubendiak.
Tila unique, tila mal interesting lang waisay. Game naman tigari ngani employers, for example, the yal sabi ilharar adrir, matemertal program mo transfer. Employees adi menda kuk na mo soril change sa salary tir. Mang tila idol situation agi ngani lang. Ma next lulda sok maskum dia ka employer willing to pay that salary. And get the repatriator tir. Mang sige the next step lagi mo mesang misal boring askogi nganya tool gi mo dingat mo na more sigilo situation magi dilurtik masuko mang agagi the available employers amalar kami at this salary and also mu agi ngel employer al time magi repatriator kar mo rabluam. Ndi kasi edel forcer til mo ra ngari salary din sa edel repatriator til nguk tial sa edel spare til.
Musula minister tangariar adel goramal concern le togel adam la tosira adel morior de albatigatir ngaria gora adeirar gamul sbiul lo ay sergida kna set telal adel lurior belal adrango de blue skilled am la toda blue belal sera stata goviden melmuterel al sils Padanget mur adamar elanga try muru segida report ragu tirgel o amle farmer e mobile mora a skilled work and di gora sadan mom net na se telam na todo velal tira do luz per tire na modibus
Wal misawla sa malung ila kadem me baik kuntal te alko share aurol gi marur ngirelang ngarinya ad hoc committee gi blam create ngi lobungela FIB ma SS ma tax immigration ma labor el share lagi drogul deran mo determine mong tuat actually ngarbelaw mong bere mesel bol merek selurio agi mitrel al Friday ek share sel report el media sedre kan mol alter mong ral kombali am na expire ma al delinquent ra SS ma mihita isir labor mong the idea is mong sa mal share dera rogu mal mo clear number ra Michael go problematic ak mas ka example ngani kombali kuk mol ngwa license tira tax hindi mahita isir SS etral may malarar labor magi trial coordinate wera magi mamadingat mong magaragi mo rule lagi dal solve the problems
sula minister Tmetuchel madam vice president amora ngale security coordinator lobunget
Yes.
that's will gora miski the update regal military activities ra belur bela ko to malu mr tin malbato
Sabi ako low ay salwa se currently ITC rar soldal ngarbelaw ang 218 including our other cat team mosel tiger team el supplement ra cat team tigel other sel sea dragon program 218. Yeah, umsinder tira Marines, other task force ko mo na 21. Tigay del Marines sa toka projects tir elang improve schools, airport, nga cloud project tir el Marusel shooting range la matpang. Sel Tiger team improve ra Malakal port. Kita ko ra updates sa military elang.
Tiangkora goodwill mission tirgal military malbenga agora a cloud ngir auri tirgal military.
Task force ko mo ana every year. If you remember, tamnera last year, my year before that, 2018. Every year, tame ko kayang al projects sa Lorula. Include ra training al mora law enforcement tergid.
Tirgan direkal sabi de lo ngit tilo no sa private sector maluben.
Mal sabel.
Kada morgere sabi de man misurti.
Sabi amal mera officer nga ge kada atadu ko ay sa luwase ngaraso miwen sabi akal kuk meter tirel wase kan sab aril marulan dia.
Manusula coordinator, Madam Vice President, Manusula channel. Sabi lo ay sige dum kada am tenge kal service ngangel go a diverrotter telbebul active dato ngay. Ko Manusula.
Kaya lepto kaya le directed almo almoring maldo mga tel almo subil Israel ay gidal question mo. Kabay musula madam lamo kora kadingel masang ragay gidal services subil offer a national security coordinator.
Kerja kerling. Kerja Bulgaria last week.
Okay. Kabang ko.
Ungil tuta security coordinator. Sel Bulgaria raket kumna dibus was el suguma moringa dal ngarenga du suguma sudaram dikela ato malla dal ngarenga. Let's say for example al sugum tomliat to gawad tomliat mal ubeng mukodiraat mal motor bagyardil ngara process mal ubesel agreement al sugum gumdangay sel abdon sa status of force agreement provide us how to handle it. Vice President tahu saya Allah arbel lagi logron marbulis. Bak question us en why say arugul crime government bela otau talla. Mora ta arrest ringi mora process ay kamera court bukol bus malu bendiak. Imrugo ela segi del agreement ngaringi dia ka abesen minister state ta dilunga klose moms kakakapi indidirga. Yang ngaringa loera obisra president obisra ejil wase ngom la check ringi indiak. Ngaringi malu bendiak.
Ngaringa status of forces agreement ooy. Sabi moms kakapir ka.
Sula.
Esel garima why say tirka giri lol tirak lala arbelaw. Ela tirka sel may at mitra director of public safety. Why say lo asel sumunga niya ani military tomli ala eng mokalbus until al me tirka kuk ongara artir military police ngoy titil marale kuk mo prosecutor tir. Di sa lang artiang ang giril lol tirak lal ulbelaw.
Misalnya titril marale mo court ram rigel mo kurgrir tir. Military court.
Oy.
Moringira kwam Washington DC moringira ke.
Depender cell branch ra military.
Okay. Iti agida aulubong kelle korkawe minister Udui. Elai kel sel ay club seng momreka tial budget. Magiludo ngar sa cross act momrek. La question es trigel ngar edel dart madrengel ad. El tiram suka udo da gel ngaseul morar adalor. Tirgen tama di mo say giden stop. Alo bang program mo continue se akum sa minister super minister madrengel was ngaring ya dagel ngar PBA trigel mo ang status tir. Ko melgol kire la WIOA. La question kire WIOA ludo. I gave 19 million el tilo of the cell cares act. I gave la momrek la spend tigil other belal malay tidir kamlay. I gave kuklul goya. I gave 19 million I gave kukngar cell rescue America law. 19 million ngaringi dela mal wendia kasum ngaringi ngla momrek ro ingrang mti I gave cares act.
Mr.
May kakalilungil mo, questions mo sige dal meeting kami wa mo media mo mitaloban 30 kal adra WIOA.
Yeah, let me reserve those questions regarding WIOA for that separate meeting. But regarding cross, in the budget that the President is reviewing now for approval, there has been a change to the Cross Act to allow the money to be non-lapsing. So we're allowed to continue spending until the money runs out. And when I met with the OEK, I requested that in the future I'll be proposing additional funding to continue the program at least to December. And that money would include those beneficiaries that might not be assisted through the WIOA program. We would take them on under Cross Act.
Ela tigda imol Miguel de las tal mura vice president. Ngari agel meranga ka ngitile korkaw. Ngari ulda son latwo badra ulbira glulaw madirel president lo ngas autodidar other belaw minimum wage belaw. Mo $5 mo $7.50. Tia goldu ringi uldas. Kasum goldu ringi sem goldu mo ngse goldu para other congress ta passing.
Kamal masarang malungil gerang kora tirga kabol sabi kaldi el altamek kungera ka. I would need to do some research and sabi kal able to offer an opinion about it. Kamal masulang yak mo si akal mo respond na kora kora. Given our situation lang with generally ako do increase ang minimum wage, but given the situation that we're in now, I would need some time kor omesa ay kakitali some research mo firm up a position ang nakalgirin.
Pero uli ka di mo kulus ko lang sa mo.
Kung amal madol text na nga madol ka text na.
Okay, usula.
Yan ang mawin. Ada kung ada por siya next part tra program ko tek pak congratulate tra media family. Tegi dal omrolel ang kagi dale Mr. Olgrini dal sangal for their education in Taiwan, and then also congratulate Leilani Rakla on the arrival of her granddaughter, a new addition in my family. So congratulations. Elanya ka Morcel birthday announcement sa kora last nga kamukul ngi teklo ngi taklo. So happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to employees of the government, happy birthday to you. Di ba sa chief of staff man di kami muyuwang clear makungoy wa. Ngania Kyle Kyota, ra MPII Minister Obichang. Mashelby Emiliano, ra Ministry of Health and Human Services. Sandy Mangloy, ra Ministry of Education. Nelsie Fidel, Ministry of Education, and Kaleb Tulera, Ministry of Health and Human Services. So, happy birthday to Tirigel Celebrate Tatan Chobirtir Elang. Yung kuman mlom sa retial te alok mesabed al kaptera press conference. Dolmol melo malat kara presidenta ma sel Tirgal mlo ra triple lobengel rang lunguet Dios lo makal tangat targid rokoy mabalwa drablo bela makok next press conference akom sulang.